Beloved friends, we gather this day in reverence and joy to celebrate the birth of Baha'u'lláh, the glory of God, the Divine Educator for this age, and the one whose coming was foretold in the sacred scriptures of the past. Born in 1817 in Ṭihrán, Persia, Baha'u'lláh appeared at a time of great turmoil and darkness in the world. His life was a radiant example of nobility, compassion, and steadfastness in the path of truth. Though he endured imprisonment, exile, and hardship, his words, revealed through countless tablets and books, have since become the foundation for a new world civilization built upon unity, justice, and peace. Baha'u'llah's teachings affirm that the earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. His message calls humanity to awaken to its oneness, to live with purpose and service, and to build together a world reflecting the beauty and harmony of the kingdom of God on earth. Today, as we celebrate his birth, paired with the birth of the Bab as the twin holy days, we rejoice in the light that has forever changed the spiritual destiny of humankind. The birth of Baha'u'lláh is not merely a remembrance of a historic moment. It is a call to renew our spirits, to deepen our love for God, and to dedicate ourselves to the betterment of the world. May this devotional time uplift our hearts, deepen our understanding, and fill us with gratitude for the priceless gift of Baha'u'llah's revelation. Let us now enter into the spirit of prayer and reflection as we honor the dawning of his light upon the world. He is the most holy, the most great. This is the month wherein was born he who beareth the most great name, whose appearance hath caused the limbs of humankind to quake, and the dust of whose footsteps the concourse on high and the dwellers of the cities of names have sought for a blessing. All dominion belongeth to this newborn child, through whom the face of creation hath been wreathed in smiles, and the trees have swayed, and the oceans have surged. Verily I say, this is the day in which mankind can behold the face and hear the voice of the promised one. The call of God hath been raised, and the light of his countenance hath been lifted up upon men. The well-being of mankind, its peace and security are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established. Do not be content with showing friendship in words alone. Let your heart burn with loving kindness for all who may cross your path. This is the day in which God's most excellent favors have been poured out upon men. This is the day whereon every man of insight hath hastened unto the living waters of the mercy of his Lord. From his early youth, Baha'u'lláh was regarded by those who knew him as bearing the imprint of destiny. Blessed with saintly character and uncommon wisdom, he seemed to be touched by heaven's kindly light. When a divine spiritual illumination becomes manifest in the world of humanity, when divine instruction and guidance appear, then enlightenment follows. A new spirit is realized within, a new power descends, and a new life is given. That one indeed is a man who today dedicateth himself to the service of the entire human race. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. Magnified be thy name, O my Lord, for thou hast enabled me to recognize the manifestation of thine own self, and hast caused me to be assured of the truth of the verses which have descended upon thee. A thankful person is thankful under all circumstances. A complaining soul complains even in paradise.
In October of the year 1817, at a time when the Leonid meteor showers were especially brilliant in the night sky, a boy was born in Persia, the country now known as Iran. His parents named him Mirza Hussein Ali. His lineage was noteworthy, both in a secular sense, being the son of a wealthy and powerful provincial governor and member of the court. It was also noteworthy in a spiritual sense, being a direct descendant from the prophet Abraham, as well as from the prophet Zoroaster. Mirza Hussein Ali grew up in relative luxury, with an education that included the expected skills of the nobility at that time. These included calligraphy, classical poetry, and horsemanship. Yet what distinguished him from his peers were his frequent and precocious displays of wisdom beyond his years. He was also renowned for his kindness to those less fortunate. At the time of his father's passing, he was only 22 years old, but was offered his father's former post in the royal court due to his character and reputation. When he refused the appointment, the Grand Vizier, a very senior government official, reportedly said, Mirza Hussein Ali was intended for a work of greater magnitude, and the arena of government is too small a field for his capacities. Instead of pursuing a life of power and leisure, Mirza Hussein Ali chose to devote his energies to philanthropy. He became known as the father of the poor. He loved nature and spent much of his time outdoors. He remarked, "The country is the world of the soul. The city is the world of bodies." In 1844, the Bab declared his mission as a manifestation of God to humanity. His transformative teachings of personal and social spiritual renewal caught the attention of thousands in a short time, and a new religion rose up in the midst of Persia's very traditional Muslim culture. At the time, Mirza Hussein Ali was a young man of 27. He recognized the truth of the Bab's message and became a Babi. The Bab described himself as the herald and forerunner of him whom God shall make manifest, assuring his followers that soon the promised one of all ages and the glory of God would emerge, ushering in an entirely new global faith. Although they never met in person, the Bab and Mirza Hussain Ali corresponded with one another, and the Bab began referring to him as Baha'u'lláh, meaning the glory of God. That title, given by one prophet to his successor, became the basis for the name Baha'i, a follower of Baha'u'lláh and a believer in the glory of God. In 1845, during that period of correspondence, the Baha'u'lláh comet appeared and was still visible in 1846. However, it appeared to have split in two. Where formerly only one comet was visible, now twins appeared in the heavens. By proclaiming an entirely new religion, the Bab was able to help his followers break free from their Islamic frame of reference and to mobilize them in preparation for the coming of the next manifestation of God. In 1850, the Bab's new faith was attracting so much attention that the government executed him, and many of the leading exponents of his religion were killed by fanatical clergy and government troops. Baha'u'lláh was spared execution, but in 1852 he was falsely charged with complicity in an attempt on the life of the Shah. He was chained and shackled and cast into the infamous dungeon known as the Black Pit, a former water cistern where conditions were dire in the extreme and not the slightest beam of light penetrated. And yet, it was in this abysmal location of gloom and despair that Baha'u'lláh received his mission as a manifestation of God, though he did not inform anyone else at that time. He later described it as follows: feeling as if something flowed from the crown of my head over my breast, even as a mighty torrent that precipitated itself upon the earth from the summit of a lofty mountain. For some years before this, the twin comets had no longer been visible. But in August of 1852, the month and year Baha'u'llah's imprisonment in the Black Pit began, they reappeared. But now, though they followed parallel orbits, one of the comets seemed to have receded, while the other had become more intense. After 4 months in the Black Pit, and marked physically for life by the chains and abysmal conditions, Baha'u'lláh and his family were banished from his native land. The beginning of 40 years of exile, further imprisonment, and persecution. Baha'u'lláh declared his mission in 1863 in Baghdad, 13 years after the Bab's execution. The ministry of Baha'u'lláh lasted 29 years, during which he completed his task of laying the blueprint for the ultimate unification of humanity. This blueprint is available to us in the roughly 15,000 known tablets revealed by Baha'u'lláh. In fact, he revealed far more than those still available to us. We only retain a portion. Much of what he revealed was not recorded or was destroyed in some way. According to Nabil, the first historian of the early years of the twin faiths, during the period of time when Baha'u'lláh resided in Baghdad, he would sometimes reveal the equivalent of the total number of verses in the Quran, the holy book of Islam, in a matter of 24 hours, but they were not recorded. Baha'u'lláh revealed at a rate of 1,000 verses per hour. When the divine revelation came to him, he described it as if his entire body was on fire. Very few people, apart from his scribes, were allowed to be in the same room with him. A few believers asked for permission to witness a time of revelation, and occasionally Baha'u'lláh would allow it. However, these individuals were frequently utterly overcome, would faint, and have to be removed. Only a portion of the known tablets have been translated from the original Persian or Arabic in which they were revealed. More guidance to navigate humanity's future development awaits us. At this difficult time, when parts of the world are experiencing war and others the apparent rise of racism, and others are suffering the consequences of natural disasters of all kinds, I would like to close with some of Baha'u'llah's words that to me represent the essence of his life and mission. O children of men, know ye not why we created you all from the same dust? That no one should exalt himself over the other. Ponder at all times in your hearts how ye were created. Since we have created you all from the one same substance, it is incumbent on you to be even as one soul, to walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, and dwell in the same land. That from your inmost being, by your deeds and actions, the signs of oneness and the essence of detachment may be made manifest. Such is my counsel to you, O concourse of light. Heed ye this counsel, that ye may obtain the fruit of holiness from the tree of wondrous glory.
Dear friends, as our gathering comes to a close, we pause in gratitude for this sacred moment, the birth of Baha'u'lláh, the dawn of a new day for humanity. This day marks not only the coming of a divine teacher, but the beginning of a new chapter in the spiritual life of the world, a chapter that calls us to live with purpose, with love for all, and with a commitment to building the unity of humankind. Through his revelation, Baha'u'lláh has given us a vision of a future radiant with peace and justice, and the means by which that vision may be achieved through the transformation of the human heart. May we carry from this gathering a renewed spirit of faith, compassion, and steadfastness. May our actions reflect the light of his teachings in our families, communities, and the world. And may the remembrance of Baha'u'llah's birth continue to inspire our thoughts, words, and deeds in the days to come. Let us depart in peace and joy, our hearts aglow with gratitude for the privilege of knowing of his coming and walking in the radiance of his light.